Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Language Arts Gallery. Today, we are going to finish up with our point-by-point comparative essay, and we're going to review the entirety of this essay, and we're also going to work on peer review. Peer review is an important part of the academic writing process. It's also an important part of the writing workshop lessons that I develop for my students. It not only helps our students to improve their writing by getting feedback, but it makes them experts in the particular genre that they're writing about. So it's a good way to promote genre analysis. So let's go ahead and get started by reviewing exactly what a comparative essay is. We said that we're comparing and contrasting two things, and a comparative essay should tell the reader what's being compared and contrasted, why the comparison's important. Remember, we said that's called the significance of comparison. The points that are being compared. Remember, in this series of lessons, we're writing a point-by-point comparative essay, which is different than a block method or a block approach to comparative essay writing. So we're comparing these two topics of comparison across three different points of comparison. We're going to talk about in what ways they're similar and different, and we're going to give examples. That makes up the body paragraphs of our essay. So our 5-paragraph point-by-point comparative essay would look like this. We've got our introduction where we're going to hook our reader, talk about what's being compared, why it's important, our 3 points of comparison. This is going to be our roadmap or thesis map, and then we're going to make our thesis statement. Then each of our points of comparison is going to occupy one body paragraph in our essay. And then we've got our conclusion. And just like other genres of writing, we're going to signpost, we're going to restate the topics, significance, and points of comparison, restate our thesis statement, and then we want to leave the reader with a final thought. So remember, our introduction, we want to draw our reader in with that first sentence. And we talked about different strategies that we can use. I posted a short on this, as well as a full-length video. We can start with a strong statement, a compelling fact or statistic, a question, a quotation mark, or a universal truth. Remember, if you're using a quotation, you want to include who said it, if it's a known quotation, and you want to interpret that quotation for your audience. So that's going to require an extra sentence on the writer's part. You're going to share your topics of comparison. So what are the two things you're comparing? In our mentor text, we were comparing good teachers and bad teachers. So that's going to be the topics of comparison. The significance. Why should someone read this essay? This is important for students to understand. They need to directly inform their audience why the audience needs to read this essay. Why is it of value to them? So if you're comparing good and bad teachers, it impacts how students learn. So that could be one way that that writing is significant. The points of comparison, how are you comparing these two topics? So those are your 3 points that are going to occupy your body paragraphs. And then your thesis, what are you arguing? Now, if you're writing a very simple thesis statement, you might say, these two topics of comparison are more similar than they are different. They're completely different. They are as similar as they are different. Or you could talk about the differences like we did with our good and bad teachers essay and say that there are some stark differences, and then make an argument. And our argument was that good teachers are central to students' learning. And we're going to prove that in our body paragraphs. So when we move into our body paragraphs, remember, each body paragraph represents one point of comparison. We're going to communicate that to our reader in the topic sentence. That's the first sentence. We're going to include supporting details that tell more about whatever our topic sentence is. For example, if we're saying that good teachers and bad teachers exhibit stark differences in how they explain lesson material, I want to give examples of that. I want to show how that particular topic sentence or big idea is true. Because even though it's a compare contrast essay, it's still an academic essay. So you're still arguing something. You want to use comparative language, and we've gone over that in our previous video. We talked about using phrases or words like, just as, however, on the other hand, and we want to include transition phrases to move the reader from one body paragraph to the next. Finally, we want to include in our closing the topics of comparison, the points of comparison, the significance of the comparison, and the thesis statement. We want to hopefully be able to restate these using slightly different language. We don't want to change the meaning, but it's okay to use slightly different language. And then finally, we want to finish with a concluding thought. This is a chance for our students to be creative. But we don't want to introduce any new information. So you don't want to introduce, for example, say a fourth point of comparison. You just want to leave your reader with a strong final impression. So here's our mentor text. Now, if you want, you can pause the video and read through this. I'm not going to read through the entirety of it. But after your students have drafted their essays, we want to give them the opportunity for peer review. So peer review is really important. We're going to be revising our work in the peer review process. We can still edit, and it's okay for students to point out grammatical or spelling errors that their partners might have made. But we also want to focus on qualitative feedback. We want to focus on feedback that is going to result in revisions or changes to our essay. So, for example, we might say, I don't feel that these supporting details fully support this topic sentence. I don't believe that all of your topic sentences, all of these big ideas, really support the thesis statement. These are things that every academic essay should do. So we want our students to really think like they're experts within this genre of academic writing. Remember, this is really important. I always tell my students that we don't want this to be a backslapping exercise. You don't want to just say, hey, good job. You want to give constructive criticism because you want your partners to improve. And just as you want to give constructive criticism, you also want to receive it. I think it's good to model what this looks like. We don't want to use language that's hurtful and say things like, this is stupid, I don't know what you're trying to say, this is awful. We want to give specific feedback. This paragraph doesn't have enough detail. Here is how you might try to fix it. So we want to make sure that our students understand and that their partners understand how they can improve their essays. Okay, so there's an opportunity for our students then to go back to their seats and to work through this peer review checklist, which I've tailored specifically to this genre of writing. Now, you can find this lesson and all of the compare contrast essay lessons linked in this video description, and you can also find all of my academic and creative writing lessons in my Teachers Pay Teachers store, which is also linked in this video description. And I'll see you in our next video at the Language Arts Gallery.